Chapter number 2, inverse trigonometric functions. Inverse trigonometric functions are the inverse functions of the trigonometric functions. It may be confusing for you. I repeat once more. The inverse trigonometric functions are the inverse functions of the trigonometric functions. Trigonometric functions means the general trigonometric ratios involving functions. This inverse trigonometric functions are written as sine inverse x, cos inverse x, tan inverse x, cot inverse x, sec inverse x and cosec inverse x. With respect to all those 6 trigonometric ratios like sine theta, cos theta, tan theta, cot theta, sec theta and cosec theta, we have all these 6 inverse trigonometric functions. Let us know more about them. The functions and their domain and range. Now here we have one interesting thing which you must know, that through these two graphs, let me show you a little closer. So from these two graphs we will try to understand the difference between the inverse trigonometric functions and the general trigonometric functions. Look at here, this particular graph. In this graph, as you can see, this graph varies up to 1 and the bottom line is up to minimum -1, and it fluctuates this way. So it you are getting the least value at -pi/2, look at here, and then plus one value at pi/2, plus pi/2. So that means the domain of this particular function is -pi/2 to plus pi/2 and the range is -1 to +1. While as coming back to this is inverse of this function. This is general trigonometric function, y is equal to sine x. Now we have here y is equal to sine inverse x, inverse function of this. Look at here, it is horizontally lying and it is vertical. So now this x-axis becomes here, look at here, y-axis, and the y-axis becomes x-axis. So now everything will change. Look at here, as I told you, the range of this function is -1 to 1, but here the domain of inverse function is -1 to +1, and then the domain of this function is -pi/2 to plus pi/2, while as the range of this function is -pi/2 to plus pi/2 as it is here. So this is the basic difference in general trigonometric function and inverse trigonometric function. The domain becomes range and the range becomes domain. Let us know more about other inverse trigonometric functions. This second one is cosec inverse x. Its domain is -infinite to +infinite, and then range is -pi/2 to 0 or 0 to pi/2. We have broken it into two parts. Since at 0 sine 0 gives sine 0 0, so cosec will give infinite value. That's why this these zeros are kept in open interval and -pi/2 is in closed interval. Next one is tangent, tan inverse x, -pi/2 -infinite to plus infinite, and its range is -pi/2 to plus pi/2. The next is cos inverse x, same as sine, its domain -1 to +1 and 0 to pi. Next is sec inverse x, -infinite to plus infinite, 0 to pi/2 or pi/2 to pi. Like in cosec inverse x functions, here also this pi/2 and this pi/2 are kept open. Why? Because at cos 90 we get 0 and sec 90 undefined. Because of that undefined, we have kept it in open interval. The last one is cot inverse x, that is minus, like tan inverse, -infinite to plus infinite, its domain, and the range -pi/2 to 0. In this case -pi/2 to plus pi/2, but in this case -pi/2 to 0 and 0 to pi/2. Same thing, because tan 90 give you infinite value. So similarly cot inverse at that time will give you 0. Now let us know more about graphs of these general trigonometric functions as well as inverse trigonometric functions. Let us start. This first one you have already seen. This y is equal to sin x and y is equal to sin inverse x. This way it starts from 0 and increase up to pi by 2, then start decreasing up to pi, still decreasing up to 3 pi by 2, then it starts increasing. Same thing, it is the inverse trigonometric functions. The next is we have this function y is equal to cos x. As we have value of cos 0 equals to 1, so this function starts from 1 and then decrease up to 90, still decrease and then start increasing in this quadrant here, while as its inverse trigonometric function is this one. This is the graph of y is equal to cos inverse x. You should have this. Why did I keep all these two together to you, so that you have a clear-cut idea about how to plot and how this inverse trigonometric function as well as general trigonometric functions behave. So next is this tan x and the tan inverse x. That also I show you a little closer. So this is y is equal to tan x. From here 0, tan 0, 0 and then goes, and at 90 it is undefined, so it will go this way up to infinite. Similarly at minus pi by 2 it goes also infinite, so this way. Similarly this second loop and the third loop, and then y is equal to tan inverse x, again 0, because 0 at 0 its value is 0, y is equal to tan inverse x. Next is of cot inverse x. Let us see it little also. This is y is equal to cot x, general trigonometric function, and y is equal to cot inverse x. This is inverse trigonometric function. Next is sec x. This also you should see little closer. Y is equal to sec x. Small loops will be formed as per the value of x we will put. So this is a general trigonometric function, y is equal to sec x, and this is y is equal to sec inverse x, and the last one is y is equal to cosec x. So y is equal to cosec x. Its general graph is this one. We have small loops, while as y is equal to cosec inverse, its direction is changing, the loops, so in this case also as well as in this case also. So these are all 6 trigonometric functions in inverse also and in general also. So this is all about you need to be very careful over here, that is sin inverse x. It's what is its domain and what is its range. I tell you in the next topic, where we will cover the loop of this branch of principal value, and there you will have more clear idea. So let us move towards that. Now the range of principal value branches. The range of principal value branches. Now here we will divide all these 6 inverse trigonometric function into 2 loops, that you need to be very careful while solving the questions till the end of this chapter. These 2 loops will be very important for you. So let us start. We have x-axis. As you can see, it starts we starts from this direction, so this angle will be considered 0 degree, and this angle, as we have completed one semicircle, so it is pi 180 degree. Then we have vertical axis, so it is plus pi by 2 from here to this direction, because these two lines are perpendicular. This angle between these two 90, so that's why this end of this line is plus pi by 2, 90. If we go this way, which way? Anti-clockwise. Next is minus pi by 2 if we go clockwise from 0 to this direction. Otherwise, if we come from this way via pi, then we will have 3 pi by 2 at this particular point. Okay, so we are now directly, because we have moved from 0 to this direction, and we will be moving from 0 to this direction. So this is plus pi by 2 and this is minus pi by 2. But you need to remember this angle we have taken clockwise, and this angle we have taken anti-clockwise. And when we take angle anti-clockwise, it will be positive, and when we will take angle clockwise, it will be negative. So let us know more about what I was talking about. Principal value branch of sine inverse x, cosec inverse x and tan inverse x. It is from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. That's why this color of this vertical line is green. I have kept for you, so that these three inverse trigonometric functions belong to this line only. So that means whenever you will be solving these questions, sine inverse, cosec inverse, tan inverse, you will be taking care of this minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Means whenever you will have angle, that angle must fall between this first quadrant and this fourth quadrant. So this way, from 0 to plus pi by 2, and this 0 to pi by 2 means all the angles, right from 0, then 30 degree, then 45 degree, then 60 degree, and ultimately 90 degree. What all things will fall into this category, that will be considered that these angles are falling in first quadrant. That means within this loop of sine inverse x, cosec inverse x and tan inverse x. The next is this loop, same thing. This will be known as from 0 to, like this, 0 to minus 30, minus 45, minus 60 and minus 90. If angles are also of this category, then we will say this particular angle belongs to sine inverse x or cosec inverse x or tan inverse x. So these three you need to remember: sine inverse x, cosec inverse x and tan inverse x. Their principal branch is from plus pi by 2 to minus pi by 2, or from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. This thing, that means first quadrant and fourth quadrant. Similarly, now we have completed here three inverse trigonometric functions. Now we'll move towards the remaining three. Here we have, as I told you, first and fourth quadrant. First quadrant is this one, fourth quadrant is this one. Now similar, this way we'll go there also. Principal value branch of what is remaining? Cos inverse x, sec inverse x and cot inverse x is like this. This branch was from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, but this branch is from 0 to pi. As you can see, cosec inverse x, sec inverse x, cot inverse x, 0 to pi, their color is red. So this red line belongs to these three inverse trigonometric functions. So now let us know how, from where and up to where this particular line will belong. So from 0 it will originate and at pi it will end. So that means all these angles right from 0 to 30, 45, then 60, then 90, then 120 degree, then 135 degree, then 150 degree and then 180 degree. All these angles will be included for cos inverse x, sec inverse x, cot inverse x. Means these three inverse trigonometric function will have the angles in first quadrant as well as in second. So first and second quadrant for cos inverse x, second inverse x and cot inverse x, while as first and fourth quadrant are for sin inverse x, cosec inverse x, tan inverse x. Here we have this particular quadrant first is common in both the cases. So I hope it is clear now for you. These three inverse trigonometric functions, they will have first quadrant and fourth quadrants angles, and these three inverse trigonometric functions will have first quadrant and second quadrants angles. Let us know more about this theoretically. Since inverse trigonometric functions since inverse trigonometric function is not like general mathematical expression, as what does it mean? These inverse trigonometric functions are different than our general mathematics, what we calculations we used to do there. For example, if we have x into inverse of x, in general mathematics we can cancel these two, because x upon x, and then we will have the value 1. But it is not like this way we can do here in this inverse trigonometric functions, because inverse trigonometric function is not like algebraic expression. Means simply you cannot do the following. Means what following statement says, you cannot do that directly. For example, we have sine inverse into sine 2 pi by 3. So like this x into x inverse, simply you cancelled it and made a value is equal to 1. Similarly, you cannot do here, like we have sine positive and sine power negative, so these two cancel and we will have 2 pi by 3. No doubt, certainly these two will disappear, but in certain cases, for that you need to check these two these branches, what do we call them, range of principal value branches. You cannot do this, means you are cancelling, then it is equal. Now we have very important line for this expressions to be understood better. For the disappearance, no doubt definitely these two will be eliminated. These two will disappear in some cases, in certain cases, when this angle will decide when it will be disappear or not. For the disappearance of sine inverse and sine, you have to check whether its angle means this one belongs to its principal value branch or not. Means what? That means if the angle doesn't fall this category in case of sine inverse, for example the first and the fourth quadrant, if the angle doesn't belong, then you cannot simply cancel it. So you have to check whether it belongs to its principal value branch or not. If it belongs, okay, then it will disappear. That means in that case it will automatically disappear and you will have this angle whatever it is there. And if it doesn't, if the angle doesn't belong to that particular quadrant, then you have to reduce the angle. You will be reducing by trigonometric laws that I will explain you later while taking exercise. You will be reducing that angle till it belongs, then it disappears. What does it disappear? This sine and sine inverse. Now for example I take this one. Now in this case sine inverse and sine, someone can do simply like this, they are going to cancel these two. No, before that you have to see this particular angle. Now in this particular case 2 pi by 3 means pi by 3 means 60. 60 into 2, 120 degree. 120 degree will fall into second quadrant. So this sine inverse, you have to check what is the principal branch of sine inverse x, that is this minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, that means first and fourth quadrant only. So now this is second quadrant, so you cannot remove these two and then simply you can write 2 pi by 3. For that you will be going further, little further, reducing it. The procedure of reduction that I will explain in the exercise. Okay, so that's all about this explanation. You have to remember here 3 inverse trigonometric functions. These 3 will have first and fourth quadrant, and these 3 inverse trigonometric functions will have quadrant first and quadrant second only. Now we start exercise 2.1. Here you will have clear cut idea about the previous concept, which way we should use it. So let us go. The question is, find the principal value of the following. Principal value means in trigonometric, that in quadrant system, first round whichever angle falls, that you need to take. The first question here, sine inverse minus 1 by 2, angle is minus 1 by 2. So sine inverse minus 1 by 2, you have to find the principal value of this thing. So for this, what we are going to do, so let us proceed for the solution. Let sine inverse minus 1 by 2 is equal to theta, so that this inverse function can be converted into general trigonometric function. So we will take this sine of both sides, and then this sine will go that side. So implies sine theta equals to minus 1 by 2. Now this 1 by 2, you need to think about it, at what angle this value of sine will be 1 by 2. So this value is at pi by 6. So but in this case we have minus 1 by 2, so we will take that this sine pi by 6 or sine 30 gives 1 by 2. So naturally minus pi by 6 will give us minus 1 by 2. So we have sine minus pi by 6. Sine minus pi by 6. Then now angle is minus pi by 6. So we need to check whether this particular minus pi by 6 belongs to that principal branch or not. So now as here you can see in this particular branch, this sine inverse belongs to this minus pi by 2 to, from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2, and this minus pi by 6 falls in between these two vertical lines. That means true, sine inverse belongs to this line. As minus pi by 6 belongs to this loop, this range, so it's true. So we can say that the principal value of sine inverse minus 1 by 2 is minus pi by 6. As we had considered this whole sine inverse minus 1 by 2 as theta, so theta we got minus pi by 6, means sine inverse minus 1 by 2 is equal to minus pi by 6. That's all about this question. This is complete solution. The next question, similarly the same question almost, cos inverse root 3 by 2. We have to find out the principal value. Again we will substitute this, we will suppose this cos inverse root 3 by 2 as a theta. For the solution, let again cos inverse like this only, cos inverse root 3 by 2 is equal to theta. Now in this particular case you need to be little careful over here, that now cos inverse must belongs to this loop, that is from 0 to pi, that this particular red line, this red curve, you have to be within this, then only this principal value will be there. So cos inverse root 3 by 2 equals to theta, then implies cos theta equals to root 3 by 2. Now from table, trigonometric table, we know that cos pi by 6, that is cos 30 degree. Cos 30 degree gives root 3 by 2, and pi by 6 belongs to first quadrant. This pi by 6 falls in first quadrant, and first and second both are for cos inverse. So that means implies theta is equal to cos pi by 6. When this angle belongs to the loop, this particular loop, then we can remove this these letters, trigonometric letters, and directly we have angle theta is equal to pi by 6, as theta belongs to 0 to pi. So that's all about this question also. Next is question number 3 is cosec inverse 2. We have to find out its value. Same question, almost same concept.
Now question number 7, sec inverse 2 upon root 3. Let sec inverse 2 upon root 3 equals to y. Then sec y is equal to 2 upon root 3, and value of this sec pi by 6 is equal to 2 by 3. So therefore y is equal to pi by 6. So this y means sec inverse 2 upon root 3. Sec inverse 2 upon root 3 is pi by 6. This is principal value. And as pi by 6 in case of sec inverse belongs to first quadrant, so that's true. That's okay. Question number 10, cosec inverse minus root 2. For this solution, let cosec inverse minus root 2 y, then cosec y is equal to y. So minus root 2 will be at minus cosec pi by 4. That's true, because minus pi by 4 belongs to fourth quadrant. So that's true for cosec inverse. So we'll say that the principal value is minus pi by 4. This minus pi by 4. Okay. So just this you can remove this cosec and cosec. So y is equal to minus pi by 4. When this angle, particularly this particular angle, belongs to that particular principal branch from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Now next category of the questions is find the value of the following. That means now here we were finding the principal value. Now we have to just simply solve and find the value. So we have the question now, we are getting the combination of 2 or 3 terms like this only. We have this separate terms, and then we were finding the principal value. In this case we are getting 3 terms together, and we have to put the respective values here and then solve it taking LCM, etc. So let us go for the solution. Let tan inverse 1 is equal to x, then tan will go that side, tan x is equal to 1. Okay, and 1 is equal to tan pi by 4, because tan 45 is equal to 1. So this means tan you can remove, x is equal to pi by 4. Why? Because tan inverse belongs to first quadrant. So tan inverse 1 is equal to pi by 4. Second one is let cos inverse minus 1 by 2 is equal to y. That means cos y equals to minus 1 by 2. Then cos minus 1 by 2 we are getting at 60 degree, but since it is negative, so we need to go little further. So we will move towards second quadrant, as in second quadrant cos is negative. So therefore cos 2 pi by 3 is equal to minus 1 by 2. So that means y is equal to 2 pi by 3. Y is equal to 2 pi by 3. Y means cos inverse minus 1 by 2. Okay. The last term, let z is equal to sine inverse minus 1 by 2. This implies sine z is equal to minus 1 by 2, and this minus outside, then 1 by 2 will be the value of sine pi by 6, which is equal to, now the sine minus theta minus sine theta, that also can be taken. So sine minus pi by 6, as in fourth quadrant, also same thing. So this implies, you can say that z is equal to minus pi by 6. Z means sine inverse minus 1 by 2. Now this pi by 4 as the value of tan inverse 1, cos inverse minus 1 by 2, its value is 2 pi by 3, and then this z, which is sine inverse minus 1 by 2, its value is minus pi by 6. So we will put this value, and this value in the given question over here, and then let us solve it for the respective things. So this is the question: tan inverse 1 plus cos inverse minus 1 by 2 plus sine inverse minus 1 by 2. Now the value of tan inverse 1 is this pi by 4. This pi by 4 went there. Now next is 2 pi by 3. This 2 pi by 3 in place of this. Okay, and then last is minus pi by 6. Last is minus pi by 6. So in place of sine inverse minus 1 by 2, minus pi by 6. So its value is LCM 12, and then 3 pi plus 8 pi, this 12, and 4 3 the 312, and 3 4 ja 12, 4 2 the 8 pi, and minus 6 2 the 12, 2 pi. This is equal to 9 pi 8 3 11, 11 minus 2, 9 pi by 12 is equal to 3 3 the 9, 4 3 the 12, 3 pi by 4. So 3 pi by 4 is the value of this 11th question. So that's all about this question. So that means what all things you have done up to question number 10. Now question number 11th is the combination of two or more things. That's all. Let us move towards the next question. Question number 13 is of MCQ nature. Sine inverse, if sine inverse x is equal to y, then 0. Let us go for the solution. As sine inverse x is equal to y, directly by, if you remember that loop, that sine inverse we had this vertical line, green line, and there only this top point was pi by 2 and the bottom line was minus pi by 2, and then sine inverse x, cosec inverse x, and then tan inverse x, they all fall in this category. So the sine inverse x means from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. The difference, you will be little confused between b and d. Why? Because in case of sine, the value of 90 is equal to 1, so that is included. That means equal to that, or I is greater than or equal to minus pi by 2, that is a least value minus 1, or this maximum sine 0 will give you 0, and the maximum value will get at a sine pi by 2 top, at the top. So y would be less than or equal to pi by 2. So B will be the right option. So the answer of this question, directly you can write option B. So as we know that the range of the principal value branch of sine inverse is from minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. This is closed interval. Closed interval means equal to that or greater than, or this side less than. Therefore y is greater or equal to minus pi by 2, less or equal to pi by 2. Therefore the right answer is option B. Let us now move towards question number 14. Tan inverse root 3 minus sec inverse minus 2 is equal to. This question is also like question number 10 or first 10 question we did. They are also the same thing. That means this is a combination of two questions. We need to search these values, principal values, and then those principal value we will put the value over here and then solve it, and whichever the option falls we will go for it. Let us go for the solution. Let tan inverse root 3 is equal to x, then tan x is equal to root 3. So we need to search for that at what angle this tan will give us root 3. So that value is that angle is pi by 3, tan 60 degree. will give you root 3. So that means x is equal to pi by 3. So x means tan inverse root 3 is equal to pi by 3. Next is sec inverse minus 2, let it be equal to y. So then sec y is equal to minus 2. Now you need to search where this sec will give you minus 2. So that is sec 2 pi by 3, second quadrant. So the value of y, sec and sec removed, y is equal to 2 pi by 3. That is y means sec inverse minus 2 is equal to 2 pi by 3. Now as you can see, this value of sec inverse 2 pi by 3 and this value of tan inverse root 3x will put in this part, in this question that we have written here, and then we will go for the solution. So this tan inverse root 3, look at here, tan inverse root 3, its value is pi by 3. So we have put here pi by 3 and then minus, here we put minus, and sec inverse minus 2, its value is 2 pi by 3. So we put minus 2 pi by 3. So taking its LCM, 3 and then minus pi minus 2 pi minus pi by 3. That's all about this exercise. Must know now very important formulae that you should practice it again and again. Some formulae like in general trigonometry we have sine theta is equal to 1 upon cosec theta. In the same way we have here sine inverse 1 upon x is equal to cosec inverse x. Just be careful. Sine inverse 1 upon x, reciprocal of angle 1 upon x is equal to cosec inverse x, or cosec inverse 1 upon x is equal to sine inverse x. That can also be written. So for this I prove it. We put cosec inverse x is equal to y. That is, you understood what is this? This cosec inverse, let it be cosec inverse right hand side is equal to y, then cosec y, taking cosec inverse both sides, so this cosec and cosec inverse removed, this x is alone, and this here we will have cosec y. So cosec y is equal to x. Then therefore 1 upon x, then taking reciprocal of these two sides, reciprocal of x is 1 upon x, and reciprocal of cosec y, that is 1 upon cosec y, becomes sine y. Why did we do? Because of this 1 upon x, this 1 upon x. Okay, so next is taking this sine to this side. So sine inverse 1 upon x, sine inverse 1 upon x is equal to y, or sine inverse 1 upon x, what did we suppose this cosec inverse x, that is equal to y, and y is equal to cosec inverse. So sine inverse 1 upon x is equal to this cosec inverse x. So this is equal to sine inverse 1 upon x is equal to cosec inverse x. This was our actually question. Now this is first formula. Like this you will have 5 more. Next is cos inverse 1 upon x is equal to sec inverse x. Also you can take one more formula from here. You can derive one more formula from here, that is sec inverse 1 upon x is equal to cos inverse x, reciprocal of each other, cos inverse, sec inverse, sine inverse, cosec inverse. The third one is tan inverse 1 upon x is equal to cot inverse x, or cot inverse 1 upon x is equal to tan inverse x. So basically these three we have written here, but actually these are 6, because this also can be written, this x can also be written as 1 upon x. In that case this 1 upon x will go up x, and that becomes sine inverse x. That means sine inverse x is equal to cosec inverse 1 upon x. Another set of formulae is something like that, sine inverse, like sine minus theta is equal to minus sine theta. But here as per that principal branch, that loop we had, So sine inverse, cosec inverse and tan inverse will keep one side, and then cos inverse, sec inverse and then cot inverse will keep in a other side. So sine inverse, so sine inverse minus x, sine inverse minus theta is equal to minus time sine theta. Sine inverse minus theta is equal to minus sine inverse theta. Next is tan inverse minus theta is equal to minus tan inverse theta. The third one is cosec inverse minus theta is equal to minus cosec inverse theta. So these are the three in a close-up. So look at here, sine inverse minus theta minus sine inverse theta, tan inverse minus theta minus tan inverse theta, cosec inverse minus theta minus cosec inverse theta. Since these three inverse trigonometric functions are having same features, so that's why we have kept them in a same set of formula. So the next category will have cos inverse minus theta is equal to pi minus cos inverse theta. Similarly, other two, that is sec inverse minus x is equal to pi minus sec inverse x, and cot inverse minus theta is equal to pi minus cot inverse theta. Zooming. So cos inverse minus theta, pi minus sec inverse minus theta, pi minus that sec inverse theta, and cot inverse theta minus theta is equal to pi minus cot inverse. So basic difference between these two you just see there. You need to keep in mind every time you will be using these formulae in the coming questions. Next set of formulae is this one. We had three trigonometric identity in general trigonometry, that is sine square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1, sec square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1, and cosec square theta minus cot square theta is also equal to 1. I repeat, sine square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1, sec square theta minus tan square theta is equal to 1, and cosec square theta minus cot square theta is also equal to 1. In the same way, we have also three this kind of formulae in inverse trigonometry also, that is sine inverse x plus cos inverse x is equal to pi by 2. You need to see here, these are complementary trigonometric, inverse trigonometric this function. So sine inverse x plus cos inverse x is equal to 90, tan inverse x plus cot inverse x is also 90, and cosec inverse x plus sec inverse x is equal to pi by 2. That is also same thing. So one thing you need to keep in mind over here, in those three trigonometric identities in general trigonometry, we had first one as a combination of complementary trigonometric ratios, but the remaining two were not complementary trigonometric ratios. In this case, we have almost all this. If you are talking about, if we don't consider this inverse, if we take it in general trigonometry, so you can have that trick that this tan and cot are complementary, cosec and sec are complementary, cos and sine are complementary. So inverse trigonometry, they will be coming together. So sine inverse x plus cos inverse x is equal to pi by 2, tan inverse x plus cot inverse x is equal to pi by 2, and cosec inverse x plus sec inverse x is also pi by 2. The next set is I compare this particular formula with the tan a plus b. In general trigonometry, you had tan a plus b is equal to tan a plus tan b upon 1 minus tan a tan b, something like that. Tan inverse x plus tan inverse y is equal to tan inverse x plus y upon 1 minus xy. Look at here. This is something tan A plus tan B upon 1 minus tan A tan B. Okay, next is tan inverse x minus tan inverse y. That is this also something like that, tan A minus B. What was that? Tan A minus tan B upon 1 plus tan A tan B. Same thing here. Tan inverse x minus tan inverse y is equal to tan inverse x minus y upon 1 plus xy. Okay, then the third identity, third formula, this is also something like that, tan 2 theta. If you remember, tan 2 theta is equal to 2 tan theta upon 1 minus tan square theta. So same thing here, 2 tan inverse x is equal to tan inverse 2x upon 1 minus x square. 2 tan inverse x is equal to tan inverse 2x upon 1 minus x. So this is 3. These 3 are also equally very important. So you need to practice these formulae again and again, and you should write every time these formulae while you are solving questions. So let us move towards our next exercise, that is exercise 2.2. So in 2.2, question number first here comes, 3 sine inverse x is equal to sine inverse 3x minus 4x cube. Now in general trigonometry, if you remember sine 3 theta, it is actually formula in inverse trigonometry, but in general trigonometry we had sine 3 theta is equal to 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta, something like that. So we'll for the proof, taking right hand side, what is the right hand side? Sine inverse 3x minus 4x cube. Let x is equal to sine theta. Why? Because 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta, that will become formula. So x is equal to sine theta. We get this when x is equal to sine theta, the sine inverse x will be equal to theta. That value we need at the end of the question. So we have this sine inverse. Now here sine inverse 3, and instead of x we have sine theta, so we put sine theta, and minus 4 x cube means sine power 3 theta. Now sine inverse outside, and this is general formula of general trigonometry, so sine 3 theta. Now sine inverse and sine disappear here, and we have 3 theta. These two removed, and we have 3 theta. Now theta, as we have sine inverse x, we will put the value of theta over here, which is equal to 3 sine inverse x. Now 3 sine inverse x is equal to our left hand side, hence proved. So I take you little closer to this question. The question was 3 sine inverse x is equal to sine inverse 3x minus 4x cube. What did we do? We got one hint from here that this is a formula in general trigonometry. So for that we put x is equal to sine theta here, and then this sine theta, 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta becomes the identity, the formula sine 3 theta actually, and sine inverse removed, so 3 theta, and we had already supposed sine inverse x is equal to theta, so in place of theta we have put sine inverse x. So 3 sine inverse x is equal to left hand side, hence proved. Question number first over. Now the question number second is also almost same. You can try that. I take question number third. Tan inverse 2 upon 11 plus tan inverse 7 upon 24 is equal to tan inverse 1 by 2. So this just now in the previous page we had studied in the last bottom line two formula, tan inverse x plus tan inverse y. That formula we will use, simple that formula, and you will get the right hand side. So let us proceed for the solution taking left hand side. Left hand side is tan inverse 2 upon 11 plus tan inverse 7 upon 24. Okay, then actually we have used this identity. Since tan inverse x tan inverse x plus tan inverse y is equal to tan inverse x plus y upon 1 minus xy. Now what will happen? X is 2 upon 11 and y is 7 upon 24. So tan inverse, this is formula. The question is in this format and we have to reach here. So now tan inverse x 2 upon 11 y 7 upon 24 upon 1 minus x 2 upon 11 and 7 upon 24. So next step is taking LCM. Tan inverse 11 into 24, 11 into 24 and 11 into 24 went here minus 14 and 24 into 2 48 plus 11 7 ja 77. This is equal to tan inverse 48 plus 77 and 24 into 11 cancel, these two cancel, and we'll have tan inverse 125 upon 250, which is cancelling 125 1 ja 1. This is equal to tan inverse 1 by 2, which is our right hand side. So what we got? Tan inverse 1 by 2, which is equal to right hand side, hence proved. This is all about question number 3. Now we take next one more question, that is question number 4. Now 2 tan inverse 1 by 2 plus tan inverse 1 by 7 is equal to tan inverse 31 upon 70. The basic difference between this question and this question is what? What is the basic difference between these two questions? Here you don't have the coefficient outside other than 1, but here you have the coefficient 2. Now in the previous page you have studied last formula also, 2 tan inverse x. First of all we will use that formula and expand it, and then next time next step we'll use tan inverse x plus tan inverse y, like in question number 3 what did we do here, and then we will reach to the right hand side. So let us proceed towards the solution. So left hand side, taking left hand side, 2 tan inverse 1 by 2 plus tan inverse 1 by 7. Next step is, now as I told you, this is 2 tan inverse x. The formula is tan inverse 2x. What is x? 1 by 2. 2x upon 1 minus x square. And the plus tan inverse 1 by 7 is as it is. We did not do anything to tan inverse 1 by 7. So let us solve. This is the formula I was talking about. 2 tan inverse x is equal to tan inverse 2x upon 1 minus x square. This formula we have used here. This formula we have used here. Now next step, solution. Tan inverse 2 to cancel, 1 upon 2 to the 4 minus 1 3 by 4, and then plus tan inverse 1 by 7. Next is tan inverse 4 upon 3 plus tan inverse 1 by 7. This I was talking about. Now this step we have reached like what did we do in question number 3. Question number 3rd, left hand side of question number 3rd, and this particular term, both terms are similar. Now we will use the formula tan inverse x plus tan inverse y is equal to tan inverse x plus y upon 1 minus xy. Then we will reach to the right hand side of our question. Let us proceed. Is equal to tan inverse, what is x? 4 upon 3. What is y? 1 upon 7. So tan inverse x 4 upon 3 plus y 1 upon 7 upon 1 minus 4 upon 3 x and y. Now taking LCM and then solving. So next step is this formula, as I told you, this we have used here. 21 LCM and then 21, 7 4 ja 28 plus 3 1 ja 3, 21, 7 3 ja 21 minus 4 equals to tan inverse 28 plus 3 31, 21, this 21 and this 21 cancelled. So 31 upon 21 minus 4, 17 is equal to right hand side, hence proved. So you need to little see over here once more. There is just tan inverse x plus tan inverse y here, and here we have used 2 tan inverse x, which is equal to tan inverse 2x upon 1 minus x square. So that's all about this question. Question number 4 we have completed.